meditation helped me get to 10K a month. And this happened last year. I went from having a job to starting a marketing agency where I would do Facebook ads and Google ads for different businesses and charge them a monthly fee. And meditation actually helped me an insane amount in setting up this company and actually taking the jump, taking the risk, committing to it, because I wanted to start a marketing agency for 5 years before I actually started making money off of it. Like 5 years, 2020, I remember I was learning about what a marketing agency was online on YouTube. And it took me 5 years to actually start making the money off of it. And this last year, after I started it, I started traveling the world. I went to Mexico, I went to India, Japan, Thailand. Now I'm in Bali. And in Bali, I meet so many people who are at a similar stage to where I used to be before I started getting clients and I started getting revenue. And I see the same pattern in all of them when I, ask them other problems and I give them advice and I help them. This happens a lot here. Everyone really helps each other. And this pattern is that no one is focused. And I don't just mean focus as in you got to work 10 hours a day, man. Like, there's people who do work all day, but the difference with the focus isn't just about eyes on the task. It's focus when it comes to sticking with the same business model. That's one part of it. Just choosing the marketing agency, choosing the e-com, choosing whatever the vehicle that you're going to choose is. And then the second level of focus is being able to choose the right task to work on within that business model. And so for marketing agencies, for example, the thing I was avoiding for those 5 years was actually getting clients, was doing outreach, either cold calls or cold emails or going up in person. And what actually shifted for me, and when I actually got the clients, I didn't even have a website set up. Like, I didn't do any of that fancy stuff, all those tasks that you would normally do day to day that you think you would need to start a business. I just started talking to people who own businesses. And that actually got me the clients. And so the prioritization of the task is another area that most people who are starting out, they don't prioritize the right input. They do the easier tasks. And that's why you can feel productive all day, especially just using AI to make things beautiful. But if you're avoiding making the direct-to-camera content to be able to acquire a client, or if you're avoiding putting money into ads in order to get sales, if you're avoiding researching the products for your e-com, if you're avoiding the task that is actually going to push you forward, that is a focus problem. And meditation has helped me with this focus. And it also helps you with the work ethic part of focus as well. But I've been meditating for a long time now, many years, I think 5 years now, and I've meditated almost 2,000 times. I got really into it. Got a lot more consistent with that than business years ago. And now I teach people meditation, and I'll just give you the techniques first, because if you can just trust me that if you just start doing this, it's going to help you in all those areas, then we can trace it back from the technique. So I like to teach people 2 types of meditation, and there's hundreds of these types. But I think a good foundation is one technique that builds your concentration and another one that builds effortlessness. And so with concentration, it's the one that you've heard of before. It's when you focus on the breath. And so you set a timer for 5-10 minutes. I would recommend doing 10 minutes. And for these 10 minutes, as the timer is going, you have to keep your attention on one sensation that you choose. So I did this because you could do the sensation of the tip of your nose, where you feel the air touching the skin between your nostrils. So do it right now. Put your attention on there. Breathe in and out and feel that sensation. And so for these 10 minutes, you want to keep your attention gently placed onto this tip. And for the 10 minutes, every time that your thoughts come up and you drift off from that, and it's going to happen immediately, you want to bring it back to the tip of your nose. And you want to do that over and over and over again during the entire 10 minutes. And so this will build two very important skills for you. One, it'll build your ability to have sustained attention on one point, which is just going to translate to work so much. Like if you just have to stick your eyes to a laptop for a long time, you're literally building that skill. The other thing it's going to build is every time that you get distracted and a thought comes up, you normally will get distracted by that thought and you'll be thinking like, oh, this is stupid. Like, why am I even doing this? Blah, 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 blah. And then out of nowhere, you'll be like, oh, wait, I'm meditating. And then you'll snap it back to your nose, right? Well, you can actually train the amount of time it takes you to identify that you're distracted from whatever stimulus that you chose. And so for me now, after years of doing this, it's like I can almost immediately like bring my attention back to the nose. Like I can like feel the subtle sensation of me drifting, right? And so you want to improve both of these skills, but the way that you improve it is the same thing. You just keep your attention on your nose. You do that for 10 minutes and start doing that every day. Ideally, if you do it before work, it will help you a lot. But then the second technique that I would recommend is effortlessness meditation. And this one doesn't get talked about a lot. If you go more advanced and you get into TM or something like Sahaj Samadhi, like you'll start to find more of these effortless meditations. But it's actually the opposite of what most people hear of. Because most people here just focus on the breath, focus on the breath, focus on the breath. Effortlessness meditation, you let go of everything. So you don't have your attention placed anywhere. And if you think, you don't like wrestle with your thoughts as much. You really try to allow them to flow. You're actually trying to let go of control throughout this entire technique. And so when you sit there and you set another 10-minute timer, you can start with 5-5. I'd recommend doing the concentration one before this. And so you could do the 10 minutes sitting at the nose. And then at the 10-minute mark, you just let go. And just drop. Drop all of your attention, all of your effort. And you want to try to sit in the most relaxed way that you can. And naturally you'll start thinking, naturally you'll be like, what am I doing? Naturally you want to put your attention somewhere on the nose or somewhere else. But every time that happens, you want to just gently recognize that you're focused again, that you put your attention somewhere, and then gently, just being in recognition of that, let it go. Now, why does this relate back to business? Well, both of these things will be training very specific things inside of you. The concentration meditation will help you a lot in terms of that raw focus. It'll help you in terms of literally sticking to the task, but also when your mind drifts. Because a lot of what switches us off the business model or switches us into the wrong task are actually emotions. Is that you're in the middle of grinding on something, and then there's a sense of novelty, there's a sense of dopamine you get from doing an easier task. And so when you train this sensation, like coming back to the nose, keeping your attention here, and especially when you notice when you're distracted from thoughts and you bring it back, you're actually training yourself to become aware when you're distracted. And that applies in the moment when your attention is getting drifted to something else because of the dopamine of it. And so if you're working, let's say on like the really hard task, and then suddenly you find yourself in an easier part of it, like designing the website or doing something else, you'll more quickly recognize, like, wait, I shouldn't do this. And then you'll jump back to the thing you should be doing. It's very helpful for that. And for the business model thing, like for me, it took me all those years of fucking not doing the marketing agency because I kept switching to another business. I was like, I got to make YouTube videos. And what meditation like helped me do, like building these skills, is in the moments when I was uncomfortable, when I thought like I need to stop doing this, like something's wrong here, this outreach thing, like it was uncomfortable to do cold calls. And in those moments when I would normally just like go start the YouTube channel or do something else, being able to just snap back to the nose during that practice, it like built this gap where I could more easily recognize my emotions that was happening to me. I was less identified with them. And that allowed me to make better decisions that weren't emotionally driven, but more from my actual intelligence. So you might be wondering, like, what about that second one? What about the effortless meditation? Well, It's a bonus one, because that will boost your intuition and also your intelligence and your creativity. And most people who are into the productivity stuff and just focus, like they just do the focus on your breath, focus on your breath. But when you really let go, you allow your natural intelligence and thoughts and everything to flow through, and you actually build a deeper self-trust with your intuition. And so when you're making these business decisions, your intuition and your gut instinct will be more clear to flow through. And especially in the age of AI, if you can be more in touch with your creativity, with your unique, raw, authentic taste, you're going to be so different than everyone else, because everyone's just asking the same AIs that are trained on the same data sets to do the same things for them. But that's what the effortlessness meditation does, is it really connects you to your raw, real self. So try these out, and it really helped me a lot on my journey to starting an online business. And I've wanted an online business my entire life. Now I've done it. And this is truly one of the greatest gifts that my younger self gave to my future self. So yeah, I hope you take my advice. And if you want more advice like this and more just general things with my journey, go down and subscribe to the channel. I'm not selling you anything, just making these videos because I love it. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.